We're camping at the beautiful Man River area. It's down below the Gibraltar Range, not far from Glen Innes. It's an incredible area. It's dirty, great, big, deep gullies and gorges. I'll give you a view. I'll just see if I can show you some of the hills around the place. It's going to be too bright to be able to see, but up there, just pristine gullies. You can probably hear the waterfalls and the birds. And it's just thousands of kilometres of it, it seems, and hundreds of kilometres at least. But it's a nice place to be spending time with God as well. And I was just really meditating on God a couple of days ago and reading His Word, reading Hebrews. Hebrews is a fantastic book. And listening to some preaching as well, which has I just had this this vision of a seed. It's like when we get born again, we're like a seed. There's so much potential inside. However, a typical seed, like a seed from a tree, can only become that tree. It has no choices. It has the DNA, everything that it needs to grow and to be what is inside that seed. However, we choose. We're given a choice to become. Well, I suppose we're a seed, but we have a choice to become born again. Whereas a seed that needs to be planted in the ground, it has no choice in that. It either gets planted or it isn't planted. It is planted or it isn't planted. And it grows into whatever it grows into. Whereas we have the choice to. We are a seed and we have the choice to be born again. And when we're born again, that means that we're dying to ourselves. And as we die to ourselves, we then have the opportunity to grow into into a beautiful creation. But again, we have choices into what we grow into. Some people will be born again and grow into a straggly looking little weed. Still selfish in all their ways, still childish, still only thinking of themselves and angry and bitter and offended by everyone or by some things. They're greedy. And others that would seem to have less potential can die to themselves and have an incredible vision of God and become a blessing to people. They are generous. They've chosen not to be angry, chosen not to take offence. They've chosen to give, to sow. And they've chosen to trust God in all things, not just in some things. They've chosen to believe Him. We were just talking the other day, somebody was saying, be all childish. And I thought, the Bible does tell us not to be childish, but Jesus also said to come to Him like a child. And there's a difference between childish and childlike. Childish is selfish and greedy. Childlike is trusting in Him in all things. Not just some things, but all things. So I don't mind if people call me childlike. Because I do, I just want to trust my God in everything, to be able to hear His Word, to hear His Spirit, to be able to love and to be generous, to see healings, to see miracles in the way that Jesus did. Anyway, talking about a seed, we can have choices, and some people choose to become millionaires, and some people choose to have lots of property, some people choose to be missionaries. We have all these outwardly sort of goals and dreams of what I'd like to do and what I want to be. And I thought, it's you can literally have anything. You can be a Bill Gates if you want. But then looking at Jesus' life, Jesus didn't want for property, Jesus didn't want for money, Jesus didn't want for anything except the kingdom of God. Jesus knew the greater thing, the most precious thing, to be able to speak to the mountains and have them move, to be able to bring life to every soul that he touched, to every body that he touched. He'd bring healing, he would bring peace, he would bring joy. And when there was run out of finances, he brought finance. He said, go fish, pull the coin out of the mouth of the fish and pay the tax. There was no lack, it was a prosperity. And prosperity means just having enough, more than enough. The life of Jesus was full, overflowing, with abundant to give. He's always giving. He's never about himself. He's always about others and blessing others. And in doing that, he had everything that he needed. All that he wanted and all that he needed. Every want, need and desire was fulfilled. So I suppose for me that my goal is not for the money, not for the goals. The goals that people set. I want to do this, I want to do that. I suppose for me is to be able to walk as Jesus walked. You know, every need met, every desire fulfilled. To be an incredible blessing, to see an amazing change on this planet. On this earth of ours, if we would just all be godly in our own environments, this place would just change. We'd bring blessings to this places. Even in a pristine environment like this, it looks so beautiful, but so full of weeds, so many rules. But if we all had the nature of God, the kingdom of God, we brought the kingdom of God with us into these places, there just wouldn't be the weeds. It'd be great and clean. People would do the right thing. Wow. So, an amazing place. I just want to show you something. I wonder if I can get it down here. Be blessed. Be generous. Confess the word. The words that you say will just indicate what your life's going to be like in the future. Anyway, here's some hills up here before this car comes. See them up the background there. Be blessed.